Hello everyone, this is a Milestone 3 presentation of Group 4 about BA Group Company. The group presenters are Zhanabayev, Shynggys Toremurat and Shaikholla Sabit. Here we can see the outline of our presentation. First we will talk about the capacity management, particularly about system bottlenecks and capacity availability. Following that, the location strategies that company implements. Next, the layout strategies, and finally, we'll provide some recommendations and conclude with that our presentation.
The company defines its capacity in terms of the projects accomplished for the year, and it measures it in meters squared. The company's strategic aim is to enter a top 100 construction companies worldwide. So, to achieve it, the company should build more projects within and outside the Kazakhstan, and they should complete projects faster. With this purpose, the company has planned its capacity decisions in 3 time horizons. In the short-term period, the company is trying to keep up with the finish dates of the current projects. Due to the COVID-19, the construction works slowed down and personnel of BI Group was allocated to build hospitals in all cities of Kazakhstan. Therefore, currently the company is applying all of the efforts to finish projects within promised dates. One of the measures is adding night shifts. In intermediate range planning, the company is planning to invest in subcontractors training, since there is always problems with subcontractors' quality of work and qualifications on the projects. The company's aim is to create a list of qualified subcontractors with whom they may accomplish projects with confidence in the future. In terms of long-term planning, the company is aiming to launch massive industrial modular construction. In this type of construction, about 80% of construction works would be completed in factory, and ready modules can be assembled on construction fields as a Lego. This will allow the company to accomplish projects in 5 to 7 months. So currently BI Group has built factory called Mode X in Nur-Sultan and planning to build it in Almaty. In the long term, most of the BI Group's apartments will be built by this method. Now let's talk about numbers. The company has scheduled for the current year that it should complete 1.1 million meters squared. However, due to weather conditions and subcontractor issues, they expect to complete 950,000 meters squared. So the design capacity is 1.1 million and effective capacity is 950,000 meters squared, and the actual output for the year is expected to be 875,000 meters squared. So we can calculate utilization. It will be 79.5%, and efficiency it will be much higher, 92.1%. The utilization rate dropped down due to issues with COVID-19 and subcontractors. However, efficiency is still high, and the efficiency rate gradually increases year by year due to applying lean principles in the company. The main bottleneck in the system is the shortage of qualified subcontractors in the regions. Due to their engineering mistakes, the rework is needed in most of the cases, and each day of rework affects the overall duration of the project. Another bottleneck is that sequence of construction work, which is not optimized. For example, the sequence currently is as following. Firstly, reinforced concrete building framework finishes, then masonry works finishes, and finally facade works may start and finish. So currently company is implementing the following sequence. Once building frame works reach third floor, the masonry works on the first floor may begin, and after the fifth floor of masonry works, for example, facade works may begin on the first floor. So the idea here is to complete works that are on critical path in parallel. In terms of capacity availability in the company, there are always available options for the clients. The company sells 50% of the new apartments within 2 or 3 days and 70% within the first 3 months after the construction and sale begins. As practice shows, around 90 to 95% of the assets are sold prior to finish date of the project. However, it should be mentioned that the lowest prices are available based on rule first come, first served. and it can be said that BI Group capacity exceeds the demand. However, since it's a construction business, it's difficult to meet the exact demand. Nevertheless, the apartments which remain unsold eventually will be sold, so it's a matter of time. Regarding the changes in demand, in September, BI Group sold a record amount of apartments. This occurred due to deferred demand because of quarantine. The situation showed that the company was able to meet sharp increase in demand.
Now let's talk about BI Group's location strategies. Location of BI Group's offices is one of the main company's advantages. Company has main facilities in Nur-Sultan that strategically distributed across the city. The main office is a green tower that is located on territory of residential complex Green Quarter. Firstly, this location has particular advantage because it is near to all the prospective companies' projects such as Headliner, Bay City, Grand Opera, Generation, Grand Run, and so on. In addition, it is located in a private territory of residential complex to avoid any type of disturbances. Another great example of location strategy is Modex factory for construction of models dedicated to residential complex such as Nova City and Shaikholla. It is located in the manufacturing part of the city, where factories of other companies are also located. This is for following governmental rules of production. Also, that location is also considered from the logistics point of view to supply all necessary materials for construction purposes. Another example of office location is office of BI Group's service company that is located in the central part of the city, where majority of companies' residential complexes are situated. The reason behind that coordinates is to be closer to clients and serve as effective as it would be. There are certain factors that influenced working exactly at these city sites. Firstly, site size and cost. All mentioned facilities are located as a territory mainly occupied by the company's products. Therefore, there is no additional cost for paying for these offices and other facilities. In terms of the site size, as these are private BI Group's territory, there are no constraints. As an example of being close to railway, highway, air and water system, Modex factory case could be presented. It is located near the rails and water in order to have less costs for material supplies. At the same time, there is a number of the other factors that produce construction materials, and that fact is profitable for Modex in terms of proximity of services and supplies needed for business operation. Talking about environmental impact, factory was designed and planned in order to follow the green rules and reduce the amount of emissions that could negatively affect city's atmosphere. In terms of customer density and demographics, the case of BI Client Service Company location could be mentioned, as it focused on the company's customers. It was strategically located in concentration of BI Group's facilities. Therefore, it could be seen that company analyzed and used key success factors in order to locate its facilities with maximum benefit. BI Group has many facilities in Nur-Sultan that have strategic advantages. However, company aims to conquer other big cities of the country. It is projected that there will be other offices with strategic importance in cities as Almaty, Shymkent, Turkestan and Aral. These cities are highlighted from others because company already has sales departments there and few projects of residential complexes. As price per square meter is at competitive level, in the city's potential presence of BI Group is inevitable. Let's talk about competitors. Overall, the company has competitive advantage in terms of location strategy in comparison to other competitors in the country. That is because of superior number of projects completed, in progress and potential and availability of capital resources that allow to invest more in real estate. Concluding part of location strategy, it could be mentioned that against the background of the competitors, BI Group has no significant problems. In fact, that company is a benchmark for others in terms of development. The only recommendation is, in time of COVID-19, is to practice remote working and search for new hires from all the country talents. That could be additional remote location advantage of the company in terms of productivity.
Now, let's talk about the layout strategies. The company is using several types of layout strategies due to their nature of operations. as the company has diversified its operations into several directions with respect to departmental division. It is expected that the layout strategies implemented in each of them will differ from each other. The assumption was supported by the interviewee, who stated that depending on the divisions and their respective departments, the layout strategies implemented are varying. BA Group acquires numerous facilities strategically distributed in important cities such as Nur-Sultan, Almaty, Shymkent, Atrau, and Turkestan. These facilities also differ in terms of their types: offices, factories, and residential complexes. Therefore, each type of facility is acquired its own layout strategy, which will be discussed further. Let's analyze the layout strategies implemented by BA Group depending on the type of facilities they have. In BA Group, a high level of collaboration is required in the workplace. Therefore, the office space is designed in a way to maximize the efficiency of information flow between employees and departments, and minimizing the waste of time working around a poorly designed office layout. This layout is designed in such a thoroughly way so that it is considered as one of the success factors of decision-making processes of the company. Also, it decreases the level of bureaucracy among the departments due to the properly designed office layout strategy implemented. Therefore, the office layout strategy is implemented widespread in the company's departments in office facilities. Following that, as it was discussed in previous parts, BA Group has built its own factory. Each and every equipment and machinery there is located in the factory according to facility and material layout planning, having the huge impact on project cost and time. Facility layout planning specifies where to position temporary facilities such as machinery and equipment, and material layout planning specifies where to position different materials on the factory site. However, due to confidentiality of information being asked, the diagram of factory layout couldn't be disclosed and rather described in general terms. Also, they are implementing the software programs in order to increase the efficiency of the equipment utilization by assembly line balancing. It is implied that production line and service process of this factory are well balanced in terms of their cycle times and allocate resources. This corresponds to repetitive or continuous layout strategy, which is mainly product-oriented and organized around products of high volume and low variety. And lastly, about residential facilities. During the construction stage, company applies several methodologies and tools so that construction processes and associated elements will be utilized in an effective and efficient manner. First of all, the construction site layout is designed and developed according to international standards, construction manuals, health and safety requirements, and company regulations. Also, specifically regarding construction site's characteristics, vast amount of data is collected, such as geographical position, its descriptive attributes, spatial relationships like topography, and data about soil and humidity. Based on the data obtained and developed design of the future to be constructed building, the properly and thoroughly developed regulations are being implemented regarding the facilities, materials, equipment, and employees placing on the site. Also, due to the complexity of processes and their interaction of many supply streams, the dedicated simulation software comprising of BIM and GIS integrated data is being applied to modeling, visualizing, and optimizing inbound logistics. As it was discussed in previous parts, BA Group seeks to facilitate the placing of its facilities in such a manner so that logistics and transportation will be optimized as well. Therefore, as the nature of construction of the building is project-based, it can be assumed that on construction site, the fixed position layout is being implemented. To sum up, we have developed some suggestions for further improvement of production and operations management of BA Group company. First of all, further optimization of supply chain and production processes. Secondly, the implementation of and adoption of proper forecasting methodologies to meet the stochastic demand in the market given huge variance of economic factors. Thirdly, providing possibility to work in remote areas for employees so that the development of facilities will be provided in remote areas. And lastly, the implementation of unified database system to integrate several data such as BIM and GIS so that employees will have access to them across the departments, thereby significantly decreasing the level of bureaucracy in the company. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please ask.